Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk to you about energies a bit more. I apologize for the noise. My neighbors are doing some yard work and I've been waiting for like 45 minutes for them to stop, but they haven't, and I can't wait any longer because I don't have any more time to film this. So I'm sorry, it is what it is. So, the last few days I have been talking about certain mistakes you can do, and those mistakes will be perceived as something unattractive and repulsive. So, like chasing, sending a bunch of texts trying to prove your worth. If you haven't heard those audios, and you're interested in that, you can listen to them. But today we're going to talk about chasing energetically. Yes, because you see, the actions that I've mentioned a couple of days ago, they are repulsive actions, and they are unattractive actions. But also the energy behind them is also unattractive and repulsive. And energy is something that we feel regardless of the actions. So, for example, if you're chasing energetically and your actions are, normal, polite, or you're not even making any actions towards your person is still gonna be like unattracted energetically to you. They're gonna be like, something's off. This person, I don't think that's a good idea to be with this person. And the reason why is because they're going to be feeling your energy, even if your actions do not match that energy. Because sometimes they will match when you are doing all the desperate texting and explaining your value and all of that. That will match your desperate energy. That is when your actions are matching your energy. You're showing your person you are needy, you are desperate, you are emotionally distressed, you are not well, you're fully showing your energy. But not everybody will do that. Some people have self control and they are not gonna do that. They're gonna be normal towards their person, but energetically, they're gonna be needy, desperate, and chasing them. So, for example, if you're obsessing over your person all the time, you just in an obsessive way. I don't mean daydreaming. I mean, I don't want to say that you are not allowed to think about your person, because everybody thinks about people, and that is not a desperate action. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about obsessing, like, oh my god, I can't live without this person. What is this person doing now? What if they're here? What if they're doing this? What if they're doing that? A lot of anxiety around your person. Basically, that is totally needy, desperate energy, chasing energy. If you are checking every half an hour their status, their online status, when have they been last online, if you are checking if they unblocked you every, I don't know, every hour or so, if you are looking at their profile all the time, looking where they are, what are they doing, if they're seeing somebody else, you're searching among their friends, who could that person be, stuff like that are energetically chasing somebody. And when you do that, basically the person feels it and they are not attracted to you. It's the same as if your actions were to match your energy. So it's kind of, you get the same result as the people who are, sending those needy, desperate texts. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just how it works. And if you don't believe me, just let me give you an example. For example, like 6 months ago, this guy started talking to me, and he was totally my type and everything. And he's a good person. He is nice. He is like kind, all of that. But I was just not. mm, I was just repulsed, honestly, because I could just sense the neediness, the desperation, just one of those guys that is single and that is desperately looking for somebody. And that is so unattractive. It just is. That's the energy of it. And he didn't say it. He didn't need to. I could just sense it. And it was repulsive, even though, and if the energy has been different, the same person, the same looks, the same personality, I would find attractive. So that is how it works, guys. And this is very important to realize, and I hope everybody gets it by now. So, what you can do about this, because most people, when they come to me, will be anxiously attached, and the stuff I've described is anxious behavior. So whether it's only in your head or if you are actually, matching that energy and doing those desperate actions towards your person, either way, you are anxiously attached. Okay. And this is like my most common client profile, anxiously attached. And this is why we have instructions, right? And the instructions I have made, I have a lot of experience with this. And again, I'm going to repeat some things, not to brag, because that's not my intention, but to kind of show you something. So, obviously, I've been doing this for over 2 decades. That's a long time. I also am a psychologist. I also have done a lot of research on the human brain and how it works, and I still am, and an expert for energies. So the instructions are made for a reason. And there's another thing here. You know how in the instructions you're instructed to focus on yourself, to really develop yourself, to work on yourself, but also to focus on your life, like on some goals you want to achieve. You know how you have that in the instructions? That is for a reason. And the reason is because anxiously attached person, there's a lesson that an anxiously attached person needs to learn in order to become secure and stable, and to be able to attract secure, stable energies and secure, stable relationships. There is a lesson. So the anxiously attached, they, as you know, they think they can't live without the other person. They think they're gonna die. They think their whole world is gonna end, and they give all their attention to this. Like if they sense something's wrong, they're gonna obsess over it for days and days and days, and they're not gonna do any of their chores, and they're not gonna be focusing on them, and everything else is gonna be less important because this is what is important to them. They don't feel that they are good enough, number one, and they don't feel that they are enough on their own, and they think they need somebody to feel complete, and they need somebody to feel happy. And the lesson here is to actually learn that you are supposed to be happy on your own, so that you are complete on your own, and that you are enough, and that you simply have to find that inside of you, and get that balance, energetic balance, emotional balance in order. That is your lesson. And this is why instructions say focus on yourself. And it can sound stupid to you when you're listening to them, focus on yourself. Jeez, that's dumb. How am I supposed to do that if I'm obsessing after a breakup, right? Well, you just have to, okay? So I hope that is clear. Also, another thing I want to say is that so many people looking for spell work want the instant fix. And that is so not possible. That doesn't work. That is not how magic works, and that's just impossible. Think about it. Think about it. It's kind of like if you, I don't know, if you, for example, want to lose weight, but you don't want to go on a diet. You want to keep eating the way you are, so you don't want to change at all. You don't want to make any changes, right? You don't want to diet and you don't want to exercise. You just want the weight to go away on its own. Is that gonna happen? Is it? Is that gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. So you need to make the change. So you need to make the dietary change. You need to start working out, because unless you do, you will not get what you want. So same way with magic. Magic is here to help you, yes, it is magical, it does work, but without that energetical change from you, it can't fully work. You can't get what you want unless you make that change. So you can't stay desperate, you can't stay needy, you can't keep bothering your person and expect for a spell to, just bring you your person regardless to all of those things. That's just not how energy works. And we explained this in the beginning of the audio how it works. So this is why it doesn't work like that. And you need to make the energetical change and adjustment. So a lot of people are not willing to do that. And that is the biggest problem. That is the biggest reason why spells fail. Trust me. I've been doing this for a long time and I know. And it's also like if you go to dermatologist and you have acne and they give you a prescription, they tell you you need to take this medicine every single day until your acne goes away. And you think just because you went to a dermatologist and they gave you a recipe that you don't have to actually listen to their advice, or maybe they will tell you, wash your face every morning and evening and do this and this. So they will give you instructions basically, and you think that you don't need to follow those instructions just because you went to the dermatologist. So that is enough. You went there and they looked at you and they gave you a prescription and you're not following the instructions with it. So you're gonna put the cream on once and you're gonna think, okay, my acne is gonna go away. And then when your acne does not go away, you're gonna be blaming the dermatologist, you're gonna be blaming the industry, the beauty industry, the medical industry. Oh, it doesn't work, it's all fake. But the thing is, you didn't do what they tell you to do, what they told you to do. So I have instructions for a reason. For a spell to work, you need to make certain energetical changes. And then anxious attachment is something that needs to go away. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. And anyways, I hope this was helpful. I love you guys. I gotta go now. Bye.